We're here with New Jersey native Tantal Ansari, better known as his stage name, Yung Zeal. Tantal, it's great to have you with us today.
Glad to be here.
So talk to us a bit about your background and who you are as a rapper.
So I actually grew up in Jersey City, and it was a big city, big urban environment. All sorts of people from different walks of life were there. You know, from the poor to like middle class people, and it was a big urban environment. So it was kind of like a melting pot right off the Hudson. And at around seventh grade, I actually moved to Edison, North Edison, and that was like a completely different atmosphere. It was a suburb. There were people who are like wealthy, well-off area, but I noticed through schooling in Jersey City and school in North Edison that the people I met in Jersey City were more. They didn't have as much, but they, spirits-wise, they were very high. They were very happy people. But in Edison, they had the resources, they had the wealth and the material, but they weren't as happy. They were more lonely, a little more disconnected from other people. So I actually draw from both of those experiences in my life, and I kind of fuse them into my own thing with my music and like my life and my character.
So tell me, why did you decide to become an artist?
So me and my friends were having like a pseudo rap battle through Snapchat. We were just sending like little quibs at each other through snaps and stuff. And I started writing lyrics down. And as I was writing lyrics down, I realized that I kind of liked what I was writing, and I just found myself writing like pages of just like random lyrics, and like it was kind of like poetry with like lyrics and stuff. And I was thinking, I have the resources in this day and age to, anyone can get up and like kind of like start creating their own art through music and stuff. So I thought, what if I tried my hand at making music? So I got a mic, I downloaded some software, and I started writing lyrics, and I started recording songs. And I recorded one song kind of like as a joke, and I sent it to my friends, and they liked it. And it wasn't like, obviously it wasn't like amazing, but they thought it was like not bad. So I was like, what, maybe I'll run with this. And I actually write poetry, I painted, I kind of dabble in like random things in art. So I thought, what's one more artistic expression. So.
Exactly. Let's talk a bit about your music. So what are some of your favorite songs today, and what is some of the inspiration behind your music?
So my inspiration, I pull a lot from hip hop, obviously. Um, I love an artist that actually has recently caught my eyes, Travis Scott. I think Travis Scott's really interesting. He has a lot of space and atmosphere in his music. And then like Kanye's new album I thought was great. So I draw from hip hop, but I also listen to, a whole slew of random things. Listen to Radiohead, Pink Floyd, like random like dance music and electronic music and stuff. So I kind of pull from like the whole spectrum of music kind of, and I try to embody different aspects of those genres in my own music. So.
So who are some of your mentors in the industry?
So some of the people I look up to in music, I think Radiohead is like one of the best bands ever. A lot of my friends disagree, but Radiohead's kind of hard to get into. But I think that, I think Kanye West is great. I find Kendrick Lamar really compelling. J. Cole, all of like the big hip hop names, I find them really interesting. And a lot of the more like low key hip hop artists like Danny Brown and Death Grips and stuff like that, I think they're really interesting too. And it makes me realize that hip hop's not this like one straight line. It's like there's multiple genres, multiple aspects of it. I don't sound anything like Kanye. I don't sound anything like Drake or Future, any of them. I so I've been described as like a spoken word with like a beat behind it. So that kind of have that like whole niche in my music for me.
So I understand you finished your first mixtape. You're coming out with the second one soon. What are some of the obstacles that you faced while developing your mixtapes?
So first mixtape I made, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no production experience. I had no rapping experience. I had no platform for anything. I was just very confused. Whatever I learned from that was through YouTube videos and articles online. So that was kind of like a concept for me. But this new mixtape that's coming out, it's called Empty Gardens, and I kind of learned from things from Zealous, which was my first mixtape. I learned from that, and I think that this mixtape will be a lot better, both in production, lyrics, thematically, lyrically. So that's kind of what I'm going for. And Empty Gardens itself, to just touch on the mixtape a bit. So the idea is that a garden. You take a garden, for example. It's something that is worked on. Gardens don't just wake up one day, go into your backyard, and there's suddenly a beautiful garden there. You have to cultivate it. You have to work on it. You have to, take time, take love, and work on the garden. And then you have something beautiful at the end. And if you don't take care of it, then you end up with something that's dying, plants that are just kind of unkempt and dirt everywhere, and it's just not very nice. It's like empty. So the idea is that our character and our souls and like who we are, our personalities, those are gardens in a sense, and that your character, you have to work on it. It's not something you aren't just an amazing person on your own. It's something you have to work on, you have to grow it, you have to cultivate your character. And I guess empty gardens is what I see around me. Is I see people, for the most part, who are not working on themselves, in the sense that, some people like to say like, oh, like I'm on my grind, I'm successful, whatever. But I don't think that's as important as your own personal character and your own personal growth. I think I've changed radically over the last like just 2 years of my life, like going through phases of life and stuff. And empty gardens is kind of, I'm talking about other people. I'm talking about the society that we're in, the civilization, the people I see. I see people have worked on their characters, but I also see a lot of empty gardens.
So finally, I want to ask about the future of the industry. You kind of spoke to it earlier, but hip hop has kind of evolved throughout the decades. Where do you see the future of the industry?
So I think that if you want to know where hip hop is going to be, or where it is right now, I think the number one artist to look at is Drake. So basically, I think Drake kind of, a lot of people love Drake, obviously. I like Drake, but I think he's overhyped a bit. And I think that if you track what he's doing, in the beginning when he came onto the scene, it was like the whole like Lil Wayne sound. It was like really kind of like cocky, very like in your face, like kind of suave and stuff. But now it's kind of more like trap infused. It's more like kind of, I guess he's more like gangster or whatever. And he's kind of drawing from Future. I think Future kind of like is influencing hip hop really heavily. But I think one of the most important things you'll see in hip hop itself is the fact that the internet and like social media and stuff has allowed more undiscovered artists like myself and like other artists, amateur production and stuff, has allowed those artists to kind of come onto the scene. Random rappers can just blow up overnight with just like a SoundCloud listen or something. So I think that you're going to see a kind of duality where there's like pop hip hop, where it's more like mainstream, more streamlined. But you also see a lot of experimental underground hip hop that's kind of like rising to the top.
So you said your mixtape's coming out soon. What's the official release date?
So I hope to have it out early summer of 2016, this summer. I had some issues with it before, with motivation, and there was a lot of difficulty was met. But now I'm in full swing, so it should be coming out soon. You can check me out, youngzeal.bandcamp.com, my WordPress, youngzeal.wordpress.com. So check me out. Give me a listen. I think it's not something that people are used to. A lot of people, they just don't think that my style is like the usual style, which I agree with. I think it's different. But some people might like it, so just check it out.
Thank you so much for being here with us, and we'll be right back.
And we can play it like kids. Had no idea you could play it like this. Hard to say how I feel. I could only rap it. These lines are right and get closer to God when I'm shining bright.